it's Adele from Get Gorgeous. Diets. Why do and don't they work? Well, they work in the first instance because you're busy. You're incredibly busy, you've got a lot to do, and we all love to be told what to do. We like rules to follow. So when we're on track, it is fantastic, but when we come off track, life becomes unmanageable. Gretchen Rubin talks about the 4 tendencies, the 4 personality types that we have. We can be divided into questioners, rebels, upholders, and obligers, and most women are obligers. For example, if your boss tells you at late at night, or even worse than your boss, the local PTA asks you to do something for the next day, you might moan, you may very well groan, but you will jolly well do it because we are obligers, we are people pleasers, we like to do things, we like to follow the rules. And that is why, in the first instance, diets work. But why are we always feeling uncomfortable? Why are you not feeling great in your skin? You're not living your best life. You know that you're holding back your potential. Maybe you're not showing up for family photographs or for your business online. What is it that holds you back and makes you feel uncomfortable in your own skin? 2/3 of the adult population go on a diet 4 or 5 times a year. What is that about? If they're so successful, why are there so many, and why do we keep doing it? There's lots of reasons, and one of them is based on willpower, psychologically, and another one is based on your amazing body. Leptin. Leptin is a hormone that tells you when you're full. When you're full, push the plate away, go and get active. And that's what leptin does. They didn't know about leptin until 1994. And in 2004, research found that leptin can be switched off. Now, when Neolithical man ancestors were running around the desert, they would kill a wild beast and they would feed on it. The cells would get a little fatter, and the cells would produce leptin, which would tell the brain, I'm full, go and get active. And yet modern diet is very, very different, and leptin is switched off. Wow, how does that happen? Well, let me explain about the experiment they've done with rats. What they did with rats is they bred out leptin, and the rat just sat at the food dispenser all day. So they moved the food dispenser, and eventually he would move across, but that's all he did. So leptin is incredibly important. But not only did they find that leptin was important, they also find that rats had lots of different 3 different backgrounds, 3 different things that they did. They used to produce this little lever that would come out, and a set of rats would rush over. They were the food rushers. I can relate to that. The second one, they weren't so bothered. The lever came down, I can take it or leave it. Can't really relate to that. And the third type of rat, they were the lever lovers. They fell in love with the lever. So what they did is they bred these 2 types of rat together, the food rushers and the lever lovers. Great names, aren't they? They're all in the blog. And they produced the addicted rat. The rat that would stop at nothing to get its food. And that sounds quite scary, but it proves that your environment and your genetics play an important role. And our environment is saturated with emotional images of food. You only have to eat a bar of chocolate to feel loved up. You only have to walk into the petrol station to find a whole row of sweeties. It is in our environment everywhere we go. And then the other thing they found out about leptin is that it can be switched off with insulin. Insulin produced too much in the body actually switches off leptin, and that's why we get to the stage where we keep snacking, especially at night. So glucose is what triggers insulin, and glucose comes from refined processed carbohydrates. Glucose comes from fruit, it comes from sugar, it comes from a whole list of products that are so easily available to you now. And when you eat that glucose, you get a dopamine hit, you get a rush, a buzz, and without it, you start to feel a little bit lifeless, depressed, lacking in energy, and lack pleasure. So you go out and eat more. And that's why we get into this cycle. You down-regulate the sensitivity in your brain to leptin. And that's what causes us to overeat. We all do it. So the good reason, the good rationale is that you can upregulate, you can change all this, but I don't want you to do it hard and fast, because diets prove that you start it and you finish it. You don't start and finish, you stop halfway through. I want you to follow all the way through. And the way to do that is to combine psychology, nutrition, and exercise. Deal with the left logical part of your brain and the creative emotional part of your brain. Bring those connections together, and that's what gives you success. I'll speak to you soon.